All right, welcome to this movement class. We're going to focus on really opening up the shoulders and the heart space. And we're going to begin standing, actually. And see if I can make my screen straight. How about that? I'm going to start really simple here, just doing little shoulder circles. And you lift and you lower. And I want you to now see if you can sort of make the rest of the spine a little bit involved. I'll show you from the side. So I'm also really kind of doing cats and cows. I might seem a little more extreme. So don't overdo it, but just noticing how the rest of the spine is also involved with these little shoulder circles. Go the other direction. What's going on with the head? How does the head go along for the ride? Now just follow this next one as you fold forward, as you round forward, follow it down until you're in a standing forward fold. Now here, grab opposite elbows. We're very early here in class, so bend your knees. I would bend your knees a little bit, especially since we want to work on the upper back. If the hamstrings are getting all the stretch, we don't have much left for the upper back, right? So if the knees are bent, your belly's kind of resting on your thighs, then you can start to make space in the upper spine. So then grab opposite elbows and just let the weight of the arms dangle, let the weight of the head dangle. Optionally, you can move your head around a little bit, or you could actually move the whole kind of shoulder girdle or torso. A few more breaths here. Can you feel the spaces where there's tension in your back or where things feel compressed and maybe everything? And can you consciously feed those spaces inhales? Can you consciously clear those spaces with exhales? We'll do that throughout. Now go ahead and release the held arms, dangle the arms, and we're going to round back up. Now keep the knees kind of bent, feel your feet flat on the ground, round yourself up. The head and the arms dangle. And they come up last. Now, when you come up and when the head starts on top of the spine, now reach your arms back and up and look up, but without straining in your neck or any way or overstretching the throat, as you can hear in my voice I've just done. Good. And then just lower the arms down alongside. And the next thing we're going to do is from Qigong, this shaking. Okay, so you're just going to bounce. And again, we've got this little bend to the knees. This whole little warm up, you want really cushiony joints, okay? Especially in the lower body. And then the upper body is just loosey, right? And again here, it can be nice to move side to side to swing things around, but it's as if the arms don't have any power here. They're just along for the ride, and we're taking them on a little jostly ride. And you can play around again with moving side to side, or you could play around with actually bouncing a little harder or changing the rhythm of your bounce. And we're gonna breathe and do this for about another 20 seconds. You can even look above your computer screen, especially if you've been at your computer all day, and have a look in the distance can be better for our eyes sometimes. I'll talk to you through, so whenever you can, really kind of look away, honestly. Can you breathe in and out of your nose? Just a couple more of these bounces. And then take a big breath in, raise your arms, straighten your legs, and then as you breathe out, you're gonna bend the knees and you're gonna flick the hands. Okay, and we're gonna do that a few more times. So you're gonna swing the arms up, breathe in, and then as you breathe out, you're gonna, yep, like you're just kind of shooting something out in front of you. Do that a few more times on your own. Breathe in, gather, breathe out, breathe in, gather, and breathe out, shoot it out. Great. Now we're just gonna take the arms in big circles. So this is actually really the same thing we were doing with shoulder circles, but now we're having the whole arm in. And again, You can start kind of small, but then experiment with getting a little bigger. Experiment with bringing in the more of the spine, including the neck spine. And use your core, right? When you round forward and make that C shape, that cat shape, your belly is in toward your spine. It's still back toward the spine as you open up to protect your upper back. Okay, we're going to go the opposite way with these circles. Work with the breath. I like to inhale as I come up and exhale as I kind of bend the knees and come down and round. And then the next time you're kind of rounding forward, follow that rounding forward and just come into the standing forward fold again. Again, the knees can be bent, the belly on your thighs. And again, grab opposite elbows. Take a few breaths. Now, if it feels better to start to grab a hold of the backs of the legs or straighten the legs, if you want to start to shift the stretch down out of the shoulders more into the upper parts of your body, play with that. A couple more breaths. And then again, you're going to round up. You're going to release the arms. You're going to round up nice and slow. Keep the breath steady. And then just come to stand at the front of your yoga mat. You can bring your hands together in front of your heart. Close your eyes and drop into your heart space. Check in with the emotions that have been arising today for you. And ask yourself, what are these teaching me about what I care about? And then dedicate this practice to what you care about. And then breathe in and reach up. Breathe out, dive, fold over your legs. Let the head drop at the bottom of that shape. Every opportunity, let those shoulders and neck, and then let the neck go. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look a little forward on the floor. As you breathe out, you could jump or step back, lowering knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, your choice. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Spread out your toes and then release them back down toward the ground. Let the heels sink toward the ground. And then do something similar with your hands, meaning spread out your fingers, really root through the heel of the hand, but then also notice, can you touch every fingertip to the mat? And then really engage with those. Stay for a couple more breaths. And see if you can make more space in your shoulders now. From that pressure in the hands, keep lifting your hips up and back. That's going to make space in one direction, right? The hands go down, the hips go up, there's more space up and down. But also roll your upper arms out a little bit. Not sure if you can really see this in the video, but if you roll your upper arms out, then it creates more space side to side in your upper back. And then press the chest toward the thighs, drop the head, a couple more breaths, really feeling a stretch in your upper back. Now inhale, come forward to plank pose. Hover in plank pose for a moment. Feel your belly lifting up towards your spine, and then feel your back muscles and the backs of your legs kind of buoyant. And then lower all the way onto your belly. The easiest, simplest way is fine. And then take your hands as wide, like off your mat, right? So it'll look like this, except your feet won't be lifted as mine are. Okay, and tense your fingers. Let's see if I can do this in the video. Tense your fingers, and then inhale, lift up the chest. Exhale, dip your left shoulder down, look over your right. Inhale, lift up the chest. I'll show you from this angle, and then exhale, dip the right shoulder, look over your left. Continue, inhaling up, Exhaling, twist. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, dip your right shoulder. Twist the head so you're looking up over your left. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, left shoulder dips. Head turns to the right. Inhale, come up, center. Exhale, right shoulder dips. You look over your left. Keep your chin a little tucked so you don't strain your neck. Inhale, center. Exhale, dip the left. Look over the right. Or toward the right, maybe more so for you. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, right shoulder dips. Inhale, come on up. This time, put your hands back on the mat. Lift yourself up. Sit back in child's pose. Nice deep breaths in child's pose. Your forehead dropping down into the mat. The breath moving around in your upper back, your mid back, your low back. Come up onto hands and knees and then make your way to downward dog. Take a big full inhale. Exhale, look forward, step or hop your feet forward between your hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, dive down into the legs. Now we're going to round up like we did before. Head dangling, arms dangling, belly pulled back to the spine. And then as you arrive, let the arms come back. Let the head come up. Let the chest lift. And then let's take these hands right down to prayer in front of our heart. Let the chin drop so the gaze is back on the horizon. Inhale, reach up again. Find this nice rhythmic movement that matches your rhythmic breath. Fold forward, breathing out. Breathe in, lengthen the spine, prepare. So you're bending your knees, you're setting up your hands, and then you could jump or step back. Chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Really engage the belly. The lower torso is kind of locked, so the upper torso can be loose. And then downward dog, that lower torso stays strong. So can you find these little points we were working on before? The feet root and anchor us. The hips lift up and back away from your shoulders. Your hands root down. The upper arms gently, subtle, but they rotate outwards so that there's more space in your upper back. Breathe in and out of that space and kind of press it toward the thighs a little bit now. Head just super heavy. Send the inhales into the spaces that are tight, that need more breath and nourishment. And send the exhales out of those spaces, because whatever's, cramming things up for us, we can breathe it out. We're here to let it go. Now come forward to the plank pose again. And again, feel your belly lifting up to your spine. Feel your back muscles and the backs of your legs muscles kind of lifting up toward the ceiling, belly engaged. And then here as well, can you kind of drop your heart toward the ground? It almost feels like your arm bones are sticking up higher than your heart. Okay, then lower your knees. Take your right arm and thread it under the left. Yeah, so thread the needle. You can let your head drop down toward the ground. The left fingertips can walk forward to give you a little more space. And here we get a nice stretch of the outer arm. The arms and the hands are extensions of the heart space. In traditional yoga energy body teachings. And so to care for the heart space and the shoulders is to care also for our arms and our hands. A few more breaths, and you can feel that connection here, right? In a very practical, simple, embodied way. Finish your exhale. Bring your left hand back and then press up. And you'll just switch sides. Super simple. Left arm goes under the right. The head rests on the ground, the left side of the head. Right hand can walk forward. I like to do that. It gives me extra space. It's not required. And then you know, play around with how, if you engage, how differently and what kind of stretch do you get. If you press down through that left arm and kind of pull it to the left, that gives you one sensation, right? You can also press more to the right hand and kind of exaggerate that twist in the upper back. See what happens. A few more breaths. Keep your neck long. Exhale all the way. And then use the right hand to press yourself back up. Put the hands really neatly and nicely under your shoulders. Put the knees really nicely under the hips, and just do a few cats and cows now. Now that we've been warming up for a little while, feel that movement through your whole spine. Just doing these with your breaths. You're lifting your chest, and you're rounding your spine and making your chest concave. Doing it all this really nice rhythm of breath, which really keeps us in a meditative state and balances the nervous system. Now, next time that you're in the cow-shaped pause, that's one where your tush is in the air, the heart is lifted, you're looking forward. And then kind of keep that shape as you tuck your toes and go to downward dog. Just see what happens. Just see what happens and what it feels like once you get into that downward dog. You might have to roll your upper arms out a little bit, but it should kind of take you back to that shape that we've been trying to find here anyway in the upper back and down dog. So you can look forward, either step or hop your way forward to the front of your mat. Lengthen your spine as you arrive, open your heart, and then drop the heart down toward your shins. Drop your head, round your way up. Can you keep an exhale out as you do that? And then as you inhale, palms turn forward, arms kind of come back. Look up and embrace the sky. Gather your hands together. Prayer drops down in front of your heart. Now interlace your fingers behind your back. And you can take a moment here to just see what it feels like to squeeze the palms or not, right? You could leave the palms open or squeeze. There's all these different little nuances. You could kind of pull the arms down and lift your chest up. Yeah. Notice what that stretch is like. You could keep doing exactly the same thing with the arms, but drop the head down. Depending on what's going on with your shoulders, your neck, your upper back, these shapes are going to give you different things. You can also, with your head down, turn it side to side. Okay, I want you to spend a few more moments just experimenting with this. And then finding a shape, one of these shapes. So in my instance right here, this is getting this really interesting stretch for me. Find one of those shapes and just hold it now for a couple breaths. Breathing through your nose if you can. Ujjayi breath if you know that practice. Okay, now keep the arms like this. Pick up your left knee. Warrior 3. Reach the left leg back for space and let the chest come forward. Breathe here for 1. If you need extra support, grab blocks under your hands. Breathe for 2. Back of the neck stays long. 3. 4. Exhale, 5. Now can you come right back up to stand? Left knee comes up into your chest. Woo, and then lower the left foot. Okay, release the arms. Let the arms come out and up, this familiar gesture we've been doing, and then the hands come down right in front of your heart. Okay, Utkatasana, chair pose. So you're gonna sit deep and low. You can keep your hands in prayer, or you can reach your arms forward. Maybe the palms are up. Stay here for 2. Nice deep breaths. 3, and then what's going on with your shoulders here? Can you kind of relax the shoulders down? Can you keep everything broad across the upper back, long in the neck? Breathing out for 5. Now, hands to the ground, fold over your legs, drop your head. You can even shake things out here a little bit or flutter your lips. Let's round up. Keep the exhale out. And the arms come back and up, look up, hands to prayer. Okay, again, interlace your fingers behind your back. If you can track this kind of thing, put the opposite pinky on the outside as you did last time. And then we're gonna go right into this warrior 3 pose. So you're gonna pick up your right knee this time. And then warrior 3, the chest comes forward, the leg comes up and back. Stay here, breathe for 1. Use your blocks if you need, or just hands on the ground. Breathe deep breaths. 2. 3. Keep spacious through the neck and upper back. 4. Exhale, 5. You're gonna come right back up if you can. There's a little work for that standing leg, yeah? Knee up and then lower the foot. Good, now we're just gonna come down into a squat. So go ahead and release the arms. Come down into a squat. Kabalabatti breath, take a big, big breath in. Full breath out. All the breath, all the breath, all the way out. Inhale to a comfortable level. And then exhale, Kabalabatti, short, sharp exhales through your nose. Find a rhythm for yourself. It might be different than mine. Really lean into that rhythm. This is a fantastic cleansing practice. Cleaning out all the stale air in the bottoms of your lungs, cleaning out all the stale gunk in the middle of the cells, right? Just cleaning it out. A little bit longer here. Now slow it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the breath out. Your hands can go onto the ground. You can straighten the legs. Breathe in again as you parallel your feet. And breathe out as you just fall forward. Maybe you shake the head out again here, wiggle the shoulders, or maybe you just stay kind of quiet in the body and let the breath move the space that you want to open. Okay, soften your knees, exhale everything out, empty, 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 and then round up on empty. Arms up on in-breath, head up, and then the hands come to prayer. Feet together, and do a couple more standing poses, and then we'll wind it down. Okay. So we'll start with this warrior 3 shape. So interlace fingers behind your back, pick up your left knee, breathe in. Warrior 3, breathe out. Then land back as if you're coming into like a warrior 1 stance, okay? So that back foot is down, and then come on up, straighten the front leg. We're actually gonna come down. Humble warrior, okay? Big breath in. Arms come down, chest lifts up, and then you bend the front knee as you breathe out. You fold inside of your right knee, which is bent, and you drop the head. If all of this is too much for the shoulders, you can just lower your hands inside of that right foot, okay? Otherwise, keep sending inhales into those spaces where you feel sensation. Keep sending exhales out of those spaces. The inhale bringing in just what that space needs, and the exhale taking out the trash, right? Just like we know we need to. We need to clean out the old, to slough it off, sweep it out. Big breath out. This is your last breath here. Then inhale, come on up. Lift up through your chest. And then you're gonna set up for triangle pose. So you could heel toe that right foot in a little bit. You wanna be in a slightly narrower stance now. Now the hips turn toward the left. Right arm reaches forward, reach, 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 connect to your right shin. Left arm to the sky. Stay here, breathe for 1. Make sure that you have all this integrity of the neck we've been working with here. Breathing 2. So the back of the neck is long, the chin slightly tucked. The chest is spinning open. And the neck is following along. It's not going on its own twist. Breathe for 4. Keep pressing into the feet, engaging your belly. Exhale. 5. Let's take the right arm alongside the right ear, the left arm alongside the left ear. Good, and then just come into a free lunge here for a moment, meaning just lunge, but with your arms forward. It's a little challenging. Then hands come to the ground. You could take a vinyasa, or you could skip that, then meet in downward dog or child's pose. Let's take a few breaths in child's pose or down dog. Find that rhythmic breath. And then look forward and either step or hop your feet forward to the front of the mat. Once you arrive, lengthen your spine. Then breathe out, fold all the way down, hollow out your belly, let your head and arms continue to dangle as you round up. Once you come to the top, raise your arms up. There's that inhale, oh how wonderful. They're just when we need it. Exhale, hands to prayer, stand tall and clear. Remember what this is all about. What are you dedicating this to? How is your heart leading this practice tonight? Interlace the fingers behind your back, perhaps with the opposite pinky on the outside as you exhale. Inhale, lift your right knee up. Take your time, like you're moving in slow motion. When you get the chance, go slow. Exhale, warrior 3. We just pause there for a moment. And then we land the right foot as we inhale. You start to straighten the front leg and lift up the heart. Can you pause at the top of that inhale, reaching the hands down and back, the chest up. Then exhale, bend the front knee and dive inside of the left leg. Let your head just drop. Let your arms hang up toward the ceiling, or for some of us who are a little more open, they might hang forward toward the floor in front of you. Deep, deep breaths. Let the breaths serve the space that the pose is serving. And guess what? We understand what that space is in real time because the body tells us with sensations. And so our meditation practice, where we learn to just be with our inner world, be with our inner sensation, teaches us how to be here. Last exhale. Really pull the belly toward the spine. All that exhale out, then inhale, come on up. Awesome. As you breathe out, set up for a triangle pose. So the feet have to be a little more narrow. Then reach way forward through the left arm for triangle as you breathe in. You breathe out, find the shape. Left hand connects to the shin, or maybe you've got a block. Right fingers are in the sky. And the gaze goes up there, but the chest is leading that action. The neck's not getting ahead of itself. Breathe, deep breaths. 2. 3, breathe. Feel. 4. And 5. Okay, right arm alongside the right ear. This is challenging. Engage your belly. Left arm alongside the left. Then spin your chest toward the ground as you bend your front knee and spin off the back heel. Put your hands on the ground. Meet me in downward dog. Take your own little journey there as you need, as you like. All right. in a moment, we're gonna go to the front of the mat. We're gonna do all of that as a flow, just adding on a little bit at the end. And then we're gonna do some stretching and some closing poses. That's our plan. So really inhabit your breath. Sometimes for me, at least, knowing that, I'm kind of toward the end of something makes me realize I want to enjoy it. I want to savor the last few bites, And how we do that is just by becoming as present as we can. Really commit to the last, chunk of this class, just being with it, just feeling it, being totally present for your experience. Okay. Use an exhale to transport yourself to the front of the mat. Use an inhale to lengthen the spine, and an exhale to go into a nice deep forward fold. Soft knees, soft joints, dangling arms and head as you round out. No breath until the last moment. Then you breathe in. And then the hands just drop down in front of the heart in prayer. Then let the hands just continue to drop down and back. Interlace the fingers behind your back. Pick up your left knee. Breathe in. Warrior 3, breathe out, heart forward, leg back. Then land that left foot on the ground, straighten the front leg, lift your chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Then the front knee and dive inside of the right knee. Then come on up and shimmy the feet so that they're back in a line, or a triangle pose. Reach through that right arm, left arm. Now the left arm continues and it reaches way forward, and the right arm continues. It reaches alongside the right ear, and then free lunge. So you're going to spin off the back heel, bend the front knee, and the arms reach out ahead. Now this is challenging, right? And especially if you do it right, which means taking that front knee and unbending it a little bit. Look at me, see what I mean? Unbending it a little bit. Woo! And now we're working the back body, we're working the hamstrings. Take 2 more breaths like this. Heel back, arms forward. Now, can you do all this without straining in your neck, your shoulders, keeping all that free? Beautiful. And then just take your hands down to the ground, spin off the back heel, and just step forward. Back foot meets the front. Then lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold into your legs. Round your way up. Round, 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 round. We've got 1 more of these. Inhale, arms up. Find that flow of breath. Exhale, hands to prayer. Remember that we are here because we are caring beings. Let the arms drop down, interlace fingers behind your back, pick up your right knee. Warrior 3, like you're just dancing through the shapes. Bend the front knee, kiss the ground with the right foot, then straighten the front leg, lift your heart. Bend the front knee, exhale, drop yourself down inside the left thigh, drop your head. Inhale, come up. Open up for triangle pose and set up the feet properly, then reach through the left arm. Now right arm reaches to the sky, but then it keeps reaching, keep breathing. The right arm comes alongside your right ear, the left arm alongside your left ear. And then the chest starts to spin toward the ground. You're gonna bend the front knee, spin off the back heel. Heel reaches back, arms reach forward, back of the neck long, and unbend your left knee a little bit, the front knee. And just notice what that does, right? So now you're really having to work in the legs, and this is what we want here. Pull your belly towards your spine, breathe. 3. Breathe in. Breathe out. 4. Breathe in. And breathe out. 5. Put your hands on the ground. And this time you can make your way to downward dog, or if you want a little quick child's pose, you could take that. Then you're going to look forward and you're going to step or hop all the way through to sit, or if you're in child's pose, you can just swing your legs forward. Let's take Janu Shasana. So let's bend the left knee. Let's stretch over this right leg. You want to twist so that your heart faces that right leg, and then fold forward over the right leg. Stay here and breathe deep breath.
We just really worked the back of the legs, right? And so now we're giving that hardworking place a nice stretch. Be soft and gentle. Let the breath move around the space that needs the stretch. Savor every breath. You've already done the hardest work of the class now. Just be present for all of the experiences here. Last breath cycle. Come on up. I want you to take your left hand back. So you're kind of twisting open toward the back of the mat. Yeah? You're going to prop yourself up on your left knee, and your right foot will be behind you. And you're just going to reach through that right arm. So just take a big stretch through that space. If you want to move the right arm, we did all of that shoulder opening throughout the class. You could do that, or you could just keep stretching and reaching if that feels better, right? If you're really enjoying the stretch of the hip or the ribs, yeah? 2 more breaths. And we're just totally present for every single one. Okay, we're gonna come back to face the front again, and we're just gonna switch sides. So now for Janu Shirshasana, the right foot comes in side of the left thigh. You can take a little twist so that the heart faces the left toes, and then fold. And stay here and take your deep breaths here. Your primary job is to feel, is to be the witness. There's no one else on this planet who can feel the inside of you, who can really take care of this body, because only you can have this experience. Last breath. Then come on up. This time you'll twist open toward the right, and then your right hand will come down. That'll support you as you come on up, and take that right knee so that it's under the hip. Now you've got a nice little structure. Now find the stretch. The left side of the body, even this nice big stretch. And then some of us may want to just experiment. What's going on with the shoulders at this point in our practice? And do we want to move that around, or do we just want to stay with the more static stretch? But of course, it's never static, because that breath is always moving. And you're opening slowly, breath by breath. Your own body is shifting because of this, right? Okay, and then find your way back to sit, facing forward. Choose either Upavishta Konasana, that's with the legs wide, or Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. You're going to lift your chest and then fold yourself forward. Either one. Slow down your breath. Let all of this work start to happen on a subtler level. Meaning, like, take some of the doing out of it and see what's just already happening, what the breath is already doing for you, what this pose is already doing for you. And then feel the experience deepen as you take away the ego, as you take away the idea that there's a doer. So that you can just be the beer, the feeler, the inhabitant.
of this experience. Last exhale. And then come on up. I invite you into set up for either wheel pose or just bridge. Okay, bridge, really simple. You just lift the hips up. You do a restorative bridge with a block under your sacrum, right? But those of us who have a full wheel practice might feel kind of nice after what we just did. So you can take your hands alongside your ears in that case, come up to the crown of your head, pull your elbows in and then come all the way up. Breathe one. Breathe for two. Notice the shape of the shoulders here. How can you make more space here? Breathe, four. And five. Come on down, nice and sweet and slow. When you do, hug your knees into your chest, and we'll take a little twist. Lower your knees toward the left, take your arms wide and let your head turn toward the right, just gently. Slow, easy breaths now. Let everything fill up and expand. As you inhale, let everything just drop deeper as you exhale. Finish the exhale. Come up to center. And drop the legs the other way. And again, take the arms out wide. You may have to kind of adjust things. You may want your hips to be more in line with your heart in order for this to feel right. But play around, and then the head turns away from the legs toward the left arm. And you slow down the breath. Let everything really drop heavier in the bottom of that exhale. And then as you breathe in, come back up to center. I want you to choose one inversion. Shoulder stand or headstand, or just legs up in the air. Set up the inversion of your choice. Please take your time if you need to put some blankets down for your shoulder stand or your headstand. And then once you come into the shape, again, slow down the breath. You don't need to do anything. You're in the shape. The breath is doing the work. Just feel. Just be in your own experience. You can start to come into counter poses. So headstand counter pose is child's pose. Shoulder stand has plow pose and a couple other poses that often come after it. You can do your counter poses that you're used to, okay? For plow, just legs overhead, taking a few deep breaths. If you've just got your legs in the air, no
There's no counter pose required. You can stay there a little longer, just do one extra little stretch before Savasana. And that is where we're headed next. So everyone can meet, lying flat on the back. Legs extended, palms up, just resting. If your space is a little chilly, I recommend putting something on top of you, or if you just want a little extra grounding. Don't hurry in any of the movements. It's as if you're already in Shavasana. You may just have to make a few gestures, but make them with that same sense of quiet and stillness. And then when the body finally comes to stillness on the back, let it rest very deeply. Let something else hold you. Don't hold yourself. Be held. By what? By whom? By whatever it is that got you here. By whatever it is that nourishes and supports you all day long. By the earth, the sky, by whatever you call your sources of life, care. Whatever you believe in, belong to it. And we'll just do this quietly for another minute. Soften all of your gateways. Soften all of your walls. Let your exhales be just a little longer than they have been, but also a little longer than your inhales now. Maybe even pause a tiny bit at the bottom of the exhale. If you want to stay here longer, please do. If you're about ready to rise, start just by deepening your breath. And then wiggling the fingers and toes and gently moving the head. Roll over onto one side and then slowly press up to sit. your hands to prayer or make any gesture of sincerity. Bow down to your sources, to what's been taken care of you. Bow down to whatever it is that you dedicated this practice to earlier. Bow down to the wisdom and love that lives in all things. Om Bolo Shri Satguru Mata Devi Ki.